We're here with Matt Stillwell, running for Austin City Council District 6. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate you having me.
Please tell us why you you think you would be especially the best leader for the environment.
Well, I think that the environmental issues that District 6 has are somewhat unique to the city. We're the only district that has both Lake Travis and Lake Austin in it. We've got water treatment plant number 4 in the district, Mansfield Dam, a lot of greenbelt areas. So I think whoever is elected from District 6 needs to have an environmental attitude and bring that towards their service on the city council.
Okay,
and that certainly, I think I fit that mold. Like I just shared with you before the interview, I just found out I got the clean water endorsement today. Mm-hmm. I had the most votes in the Austin Environmental Democrats. I have that as a center point of my platform about the importance of securing the water usage and doing that the right way, and the proper management of the utilities so that you take the opportunity that Austin has to really manage those in an environmentally progressive way.
Right, let's start with the utility. You have ideas about the way the business model should be revamped.
I do. Well, I think that as the utilities move forward and into the future, we're going to have to reform the way that we think about delivering product, which the product is either water for the water utility or units of energy for Austin Energy. And I think that we will have to move away from the business model that we've been in about providing units of energy or water and move more towards a delivery of service or the capacity to store the service. Because as more people move to rooftop solar, which I think is a direction we need to go, and as more people conserve water, we can't punish that by raising rates because people are using less. If we want people to use less water and we want people to conserve energy, we need to be rewarding them for that behavior and not punishing them.
Right. Okay, let's talk about sources of energy. Where should we be getting our energy or not?
Well, I think that the City Council has a somewhat unique opportunity in that they manage the utilities to really push an environmental platform on that. And I think as far as the utility goes, that we need to move towards more renewable sources of energy and away from fossil fuels. I think that's the responsible thing to do for future generations. And I think that as costs for those renewables are coming down, it also becomes an economically beneficial thing to do.
Right.
And I think that there are countries in the world that we can follow that have really pushed the envelope on rooftop solar and some of the other forms like wind, and we should be a leader in that area. We are a leader, and we should continue to be a leader.
Okay, and real quick, nuclear, Decker, Fayette.
Yeah, so I would want the Fayette and the Decker plant to not just be divested so that somebody else would use it. I think that we should have an end goal of retiring those plants for good. Mm-hmm. Do it in, of course, an economically responsible way. You wouldn't want to burden the ratepayers by closing them, prematurely, but I think you definitely need to have a goal of retiring those for good. And I think one of the main issues when you talk about energy production is water.
Sure.
Nuclear energy is hugely water intensive, and with some of the recent tragedies that have happened, like over in Japan, I think that more people are seeing nuclear energy as a hazard and as a potential danger. And so we need to go to things that use much less water, like solar and wind, and away from the nuclear and this fossil fuels production that is sucking our water out.
Okay, so let's shift to water. Water conservation strategies and management. How do we get to the point where we have the right infrastructure?
Well, I think infrastructure is a key word there. I think that one of the things we need to do is invest in our infrastructure so that we stop losing so much water to leaks within the infrastructure. That's a huge investment that'll take a long time to do and the resources to do it. But I also think that you need to look at the agreements that the LCRA has with the City of Austin, and I know that those were just revised. I think that's a great thing that they were just revised. I think that the downstream agricultural users, like the rice farmers, are probably not going to be very happy with the plan that LCRA puts forward, but we can't afford to send our surface water that Lake Travis holds down to the rice farmers. They're going to need to find different solutions to do their crops, and I think that we have some of those strategies in place. There's a reservoir being planned at the mouth of the Colorado River to service some of that. But when we're releasing water downstream, it needs to be for environmental purposes to support Matagorda Bay, not to try to help the rice farmers. I'm I like rice, but
Right.
we can't be, we can't be releasing that kind of water at the expense of Austinites.
Right. Okay, let's talk transportation. More and more people, more and more congestion. How do we get out of this? How would you provide leadership?
Well, I think you have to have Doc Brown bring the DeLorean around front and go back 30 years and actually build the system that we need right now. Without that, you really have to try to fix the mistakes that we've made in the past by not planning for the growth, as well as look forward to find out what we need to be doing in the future. And it's really the most frustrating topic that I've gotten into. I've been to probably 20 different transportation forums, and every one I walk away from feeling incredibly frustrated.
Right.
We haven't planned for the growth of Austin, and now we're in a bad situation.
What are some strategies we can try?
So I think that it's not going to get any better. We really can't fix traffic. We can only try to manage how much worse it gets. And I think that we have to have some transit opportunities, some more. We can expand our bus systems. We need to expand some of the capacity on some of the roads, but not all of that falls on the city council. A lot of our roads are managed by TxDOT, so we need to lean on the legislature to actually do their job and
Right.
manage the roads that they manage. But I think that the solution may not be invented yet. We may be looking for new solutions to try to get people out of their cars, because I think that's really the only way that you fix traffic is you give people an alternative to getting in their car and driving.
Right. If you could accomplish one thing in office and you knew you wouldn't fail, what would you want to do, especially as an environmental thing?
Okay, on an environmental thing, I was going to say bring a football team to Austin, but I guess if we're going to speak about the environment, there's a couple of things. And when you look specifically at District 6, I would really want to work with the fire department on getting a comprehensive wildfire prevention plan in place. When the Bastrop fires hit a few years ago, the Steiner Ranch fires were flaring up at the same time. That's in District 6. And they've put some initiatives in place, but we certainly need to do more. And I think that really it would be some of the energy policies that we could push for the utilities to really try to push the envelope on what we can do about generating electricity in a green way.
Excellent. Well, I think that wraps up our time. Thank you so much for being here. You obviously have thought a lot about these issues, and we could talk a lot longer.
I could talk all day.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.